Welcome back to the Naked Podcast with another episode in the series of us. Normally, this is a part of the podcast where my husband and I will chat about the moments that changed our marriage. But recently we've had listeners send in questions, so this episode is about answering those questions. From parenting to falling out of love, we are talking about all of it. So let's get into it.
This is a new part of the podcast, the start to a new series. Every 5 weeks, my husband and my partner of 26 years will be joining me here for an honest conversation about the moments that brought us where we are in our marriage today. Since the dress and the tux, we've worn so many titles. From being pastors to renovating endless houses and entrepreneurs to traveling the world and to being brand new parents. And now, somehow, we are parents to grown kids. Well, 3 out of 4. It's crazy how time just flies by. Anyways, over the years, there have been so many quiet shifts and major turns, moments that didn't always feel like life-changing at the time, but definitely changed everything in the long run. And that's what we're here to talk about. The pivots, the patterns, the ridiculous, and the real. The messy, funny, and sometimes painful, but always honest stories that brought us here. Welcome to the Naked Podcast. This is us. Welcome back to the Naked Podcast. I'm here with my partner, Greg, doing another episode in the Us series on the Naked Podcast. And normally we would read something to each other about a time in our life when everything changed. But this time, we wanted to answer people's questions. So we put out a couple podcasts sharing some pretty big moments in our life when everything changed in our marriage, which created some conversation around questions about who we are and how we got here. And yeah, so we're going to dive into that today and see what we have to say. Yeah. Do you want to read the first question?
No.
Okay.
The dyslexic does not want to read.
Okay. So the very first question we had come in was, what's your ways to reconnect in busy seasons of life? What's your ways of slowing down? So it's kind of a two-for-oner.
Which ways to reconnect in busy seasons of life?
Yeah.
And what's your ways of slowing down?
Mm-hmm. I read it. You respond.
Is it going to happen every time?
Maybe.
Again, I don't, we've talked about it before. I don't think it has as much to do with quantity of time, but quality of time. So when it's intentional and set apart or focused, then it has a greater strength to it.
Yeah.
It's a stronger drink.
Yeah.
You don't need as much of it. So for that question directly, I think it has a lot to do with what you're doing, the quality, not the quantity.
Yeah.
That would be my instant response.
Yeah.
You?
I would agree, because I think in times when we feel like we're distant, we're not close together, whether life is moving fast or moving slow, it really comes down to that being intentional about our time together. And it doesn't have to be something spectacular. When you have little kids, it's really hard to get out for an evening and enjoy just the two of you being together. So,
And then when you do, you're just breathing.
yeah. I can recall many times when the kids were little and we'd go out for dinner, not many times, when we would go for dinner, the few times, and being like, I got nothing to say. And I think that kind of comes back down to things we've talked about before, where it's not about going to Disneyland. It's not about going on the trip. It's about these little micro moments of connection. We did it today, where you held me for, what was it, 8 seconds?
Minimum of 8.
I know, of 8 seconds.
Yeah.
And you just like...
It releases dopamine. In that 6 to 8 second range, it releases dopamine, which for you releases estrogen as well. Yeah. So it's just winning all around.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's just that moment where you're just like, oh, like we're here, and finding those pockets. And I think that's the way that we do reconnect, or have found the reconnection in the busy seasons. And that started when things were really chaotic, and we started sitting in our, as we've talked about before, sitting in our furnace room. And then from there, it was just like we just realized, that was really intentional, and it was really away from the kids and the clutter and the busyness, which was amazing. So sit in the closet if you have to. But, where there's no like
wherever
noise.
It's quiet.
Wherever it's quiet. Wherever you see no mess, But I think, it's having a cup of tea, even in ending your day together. Even like some of the things we've done in the last 6 months we've incorporated is like asking each other these questions.
At the end of the day.
Yeah, at the end of the day. Like, you're both in bed and you're just like, okay, like what went well today? And it gives me like an insight as to like part of your day, like what was kind of the highlight or what was the moment something went great. And it's just something to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other question is, what could be done to make today better?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which is also just a great reflection because I think sometimes I don't ask myself those questions. So I don't even think about tomorrow, how it could look differently. And it helps me connect with you and connect with myself.
I think you do ask those questions.
Okay.
You may not always answer them.
Yeah.
But I think those questions do float around, like bouncing, ping pong in there. So I think part of what it does, it actually allows you to answer that question.
Yeah.
And then sort of tuck your brain in.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is.
Like,
instead of it floating around throughout the night, it's like, okay, yeah, getting it out.
Yep.
And then my favorite question
is
always like, is there something you're avoiding telling me? Okay, that has been a game changer, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm the kind of person where I like to just...
You're a stuffer.
I'm a stuffer. You know, mm-hmm. I hoard all of those things until the point where...
Junk drawer of emotions.
when it's like the cupboard's about to explode, it's like, it's all coming out. Mm-hmm. And I feel bad for you because, you know, I'm not somebody who will typically talk about things in the moment. I think sometimes it's because I'm looking for the right time. Like, oh, like you've had a long day, or oh, you look a little bit stressed. Yes, I avoid conflict, but I also want there to be room to navigate it. Mm-hmm. And so I think I've tried to manage that in the past where I'm like, okay, he looks like he's overwhelmed or he looks like he just wants to rest. And so I pull away from having those conversations or saying things, and then they just pile.
Right.
And pile and pile. Mm-hmm. And that's been like really amazing.
But your pile is like a separation.
Totally.
Right? It's like it puts something here mm-hmm. so that I can't fully see you.
Yeah.
You're super easy to read. Mm-hmm. And so it's like really easy to get to the point where it's like, oh, there's something here.
Yeah.
So it's part of that's years of figuring that out.
Yeah.
But that is your favorite question. And sometimes you have something to say to me.
Sometimes I do.
And I almost never do.
It's true.
I tend to just bring it out.
Yeah, it's true. No, but it's really good. I think that's a new way that we've implemented mm-hmm. this connection. And I like that it's a standing, what do you call that? Like a standing event, a standing connection.
It's a routine.
It's a standing routine, yeah. Where it's like, it's an event. Every night that happens. And even...
Do you sleep better?
Yeah. I sleep better just knowing that like the air between us is clear and good. And that's like really calming to me. And also helps me not like toss and turn with that at night mm-hmm. and then wake up in the morning with that on my mind. It's like
because you dream about it.
Oftentimes I do. It's like I have something going through my head and it's like, oh my gosh, what a night, you know, because I'm toiling through all of that. And it just kind of creates space. And it allows, I think for me, it allows me to feel so much closer to mm-hmm. you. Because there's never like a pylon in the way. You know?
Mm-hmm.
I know, that's one of the new ways I think that have really been extremely good for my heart and my mind in feeling close to you. Even when you were recently away, you know, like finding ways and asking those questions or like, what was the best part of your day? Or like, what went well today? You mm-hmm. know? And that's been, I think, a great new addition to the hugs and to the cup of tea or things like that. But just really intentionally connecting in whatever ways you can.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are ways that you find yourself slowing down in busy seasons? Like, what are ways that get you kind of slowing?
You can start.
That is a great question. We didn't really go through these. We looked at these questions, but we didn't talk about them because we're like, mm-hmm. we don't want to talk about it before we get here. But ways that I slow down, it honestly starts in my head. Because when I'm busy, it's like my brain is like, I'm here and then I'm over there. I'm already gone. Mm-hmm. So I think for me, ways that I slow down in the busyness is presence. Because I can be with you and I can even like have a full-on conversation and be completely in another place, which is not a good skill, I'll say. And I feel bad for admitting that, but it's true, because I've learned to, like, you have kids and you're multitasking and you're doing things. And so I think for me, it's presence. It's like being in the moment. That like feeling the hot shower on my back instead of just quickly having a bath and just going through it, but actually being in the moment, you know? And like the other day I went on a walk, and small things like this, I saw a flower on the ground. I just picked it up and I just smelt it. And I was like, oh my God, this smells so good, you know? And it just brings me, even though I had things.
Your tip is literally to stop and smell the roses?
Yeah. It wasn't a rose, but yes, stop and smell the flowers. But just like take a moment to just like be in your everyday. I think that's the way I best slow down. I want to say like it's something grand that you can go do. But honestly, I just think it's in those dailies of just, okay, like I'm drinking a cup of tea and like really tasting it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm sitting with my daughter reading her a book. Like I'm really sitting with my daughter reading a book with her. Things like that just like slow down time. Mm-hmm. We've learned this really well with traveling, that it actively pushes you towards being present because you have no idea where you should buy your groceries or how to ask where the grocery store is. So it pushes you into being in the now because you can't robot anything. You know?
There's no autopilot.
No.
For me, slowing down is not a problem. Speeding up can be a problem. My momentum kind of goes the other direction. So if I tend to procrastinate and pull back and let things pile up. The way you do emotionally, I do with actual things. And so for me, time boxing and getting to a space where I'm going to accomplish certain things first and put like a time constraint on that to do them. And then when I hit that time, that's it. Like I'm done the thing I need to be doing. Yeah. And if I'm not done, I'm going to take a break from it anyways and then go do something and then come back to it. Yeah. Like get a little reward, a little something for setting apart the time that I'm supposed to be doing. So the simple task of time boxing allows me to actually get my forward momentum happening, which allows me to be present later, which slows me down. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So you're talking about presence. Presence is the key. For me, it's about getting the stuff done early so that I can be present at the end. So I can actually fully enjoy playing a game.
So you don't feel like this undercurrent. Do you feel that when you like put things off for long? Do you feel like it piling up and like it creates this like synergy inside of you where you're kind of rattling?
For me, it's like there's somebody else in the corner clearing their throat.
Oh.
Like you're not paying attention to me. Right? And I can usually push that away, but then they just clear their throat louder.
Until they can't ignore it.
Exactly. So it pulls me out of being in the moment, in the present, regardless of what I'm doing. It's just like, there's like this noise. It just sort of happens over there that pulls me out of it. And if I can set my parameters and know it's going to be done by a certain point, or know that I've done my work for this thing for right now, it allows me to clear that plate. And there's nobody sitting in the corner with an itchy throat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was really my own question now.
You only get one.
Okay. Do you think that that's something you become better at acknowledging? Because I know for myself, presence is not something I've been good at practicing. In fact, sometimes being in moments felt uncomfortable for me. It just felt like it was robbing from the things I needed to be doing. You know, it was like borrowing time from, I should be thinking about that. I should be planning supper. I should be planning the next thing. So it felt like it was borrowing time from the thing I should be doing. So I've become better at that and more, I embrace that differently now with time.
You also you create a wish list.
Yeah.
Not an actual to-do list.
I'm good at that.
And you're good at adding to the list too.
Yeah.
Just as you go, oh, that should get done and that should get done. And it's just like, and it all should get done now.
Today. Yeah.
So I can see that. What was your question?
I was wondering, like, for me, being present and like slowing down, like answering the question that they had was like, in what ways do you slow down? That's something I've learned and I did not know in my early years. And do you feel like that, like clearing of the throat is somebody that you're more acquainted with and actually listening to over time, that's gotten a lot easier for you?
Acquainted with? Yes.
Yeah.
Always listen to? No.
Yeah.
But I think it just comes with the inevitability, with the knowing that is going to be there, and not wanting that, wanting to avoid that. So I'll just do this. I'll do the painful thing now,
Right.
so I can have a longer period of uninterrupted joy later.
I like it. We're growing. All right. So this next question really got me thinking. It says, how do you find the balance in marriage between fully accepting your spouse as they are, while also knowing when to have the hard conversations, pushing for growth, encouraging positive change, or saying we can do better? What approach have you taken, and how has that shifted over the years?
So 4 questions.
Yeah, there's a bit of unpacking there, which I love.
I can't see why you enjoy that question.
Well, I feel like this is a question I have asked myself many times in our marriage. I mean, like, okay, like, how do I have these conversations? When do I have these conversations? Is it okay to say things like, we can do better, And sometimes I think in my life, I've tried to just do certain things to inspire certain things, which creates such frustration when you're doing things for the hope that your partner is going to join you.
Right.
That's very hard and very wearing and very lonely.
I think that it can be super annoying when that happens if you're trying to avoid that. So anytime I've been trying to avoid dealing with an issue or avoid growth, you bringing it up is incredibly sensitive. And I go into defense mechanisms, including just like, if I can just time delay that. If we can just talk about this later or tomorrow, and just pushing it off, hoping you'll forget. Because sometimes you do.
Yeah.
And
Sweet.
It's just like I won the lottery at those times. But behind the whole thing is a partner that sees more for you than you currently have. Sees, I don't quite know how to say it. It's a partner that sort of demands the growth inside of you to become better, to become more of who you actually are. It's not a drive for success. It's not a drive to attain and acquire. It is someone who sees the real you and leans hard and pushes you in that direction and calls you into that direction.
Yeah.
That's a great partner, whether that's at work, at home, if it's your life partner, if it's a friend. I think that's a great quality to have. Someone who can call you out on your bullshit.
Yeah.
That is invaluable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it can be really hard, I think, to know how to navigate those conversations, because it can be met with like that resistance, like you said. And maybe, like you said, it's irritating because because the other person might be like,
well, you're called out.
Yeah.
By someone encouraging you to be more of who you are. It's an instinctive punch that you're not enough yet today, at this moment. So it requires a way to have those conversations.
Yeah.
That don't just trigger and pop and create all sorts of conflict.
Right.
And so someone like you will often avoid those conversations. And then I too will often avoid the conversations, just in a very different way. I won't stuff it. I'll just ignore it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Push off to the side. But the relationship that you want, the relationship you're desiring and longing for, it's all on the other side of that conflict. And so if you avoid that conflict for whatever reason, you actually are avoiding the other person, which destroys the intimacy and connection.
Yeah.
So everything you want for your relationship is on the other side of that conflict. And so it's about being really good at bringing it up, that conflict, in a way that people can actually communicate and hear.
Right.
Like if you watch any advice from people along the way, if you acquire advice from people, oh, you've been married 47 years. How do you do it? How did you stay married? Oh, you got to learn to communicate. That's bullshit. Because if the way you communicate isn't working, then communicating more in a way that's broken, all it's going to do is push you further away.
Yeah.
And so it's not about the communication per se. It's about having a space where you can communicate, meaning it's safe. You can hear and understand what the other person is saying. And you're vulnerable in it. Yeah. The moment you feel the need to recoil and pull away and protect, and for some people, they have to protect. It's never been the case in my situation. So for me, when I'm doing that, I'm hiding from myself.
Yeah.
And so it's about learning how to be honest and vulnerable with myself, for me. So I don't gaslight you into this isn't a good time. And having that ability to hear you when you actually say those things. It's a little bit of what our conversations at night have turned into.
Yeah.
It's like, is there anything you're wanting to tell me that you're avoiding telling me?
Yeah.
I asked that question to you, open enough to be able to absorb whatever you have to say.
Yeah.
And not respond to it, but to just listen.
Yeah.
So I think that's proper communication that can avoid the conflict. Then the answer is, you got to communicate more.
Yeah.
But if your communication is good.
Yeah.
And it's safe and you're heard.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm up for conflict.
Yeah. I remember when we started talking about connecting more years ago, and you're like, I actively have to like open my shoulders and open my body so that I don't like close in, because naturally I want to do this or whatever, or
protect the guts.
Yeah.
Protect the neck.
And like I can remember,
like you're coming with a kill stroke or something.
Yeah. I can remember when you would be like, all of a sudden your whole presence would change and you'd just be like, and I'm open.
It's the only way I could do it. It's the only way I could figure out to override my heart and my mind, is to physically change my positioning.
Yeah.
And just like physically open. It's like, I'm open.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna bring something up that's gonna trigger me. And all I'm gonna do is close. And it already hurt.
Yeah.
So all I'm doing is closing around the hurt. That doesn't help anybody. It's not protecting you.
Yeah.
It's holding on to something that's preventing you from growth. And then I get to be the victim in the pity party. And I get to swirl around in that internally, when I can be like, no, just let it hit you. Because in the end, it's going to be better. It's going to be better for me, which makes me better, which then I come into this space better, which makes this better.
Yeah.
It puts everything at ease. All I got to do is take the pain. The pain that I was avoiding.
Yeah.
Now, that just works for here. If it's a different abusive situation, then that's an entirely different story. But for me, it was all avoidance. I don't think that was the essence of the question, though. What was the question?
The question is, how do you find balance in marriage between accepting your spouse as they are, while also knowing when to have the hard conversations, pushing for growth, encouraging positive change, and saying, we can do better? What approach have you taken, and how has that shifted over the years?
Okay.
Which is like a lot in that question. And oh man, honestly, when I read this, I was like, oh, this is a really good question. And I feel like it's something that I would have loved to in my life come up with too. I don't know. I think, like I said to you before, I've done a lot of things in the past hoping that my actions are going to positively affect you, and then realizing like, oh, that's the wrong approach. And then bringing things up and becoming like a nag.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember have said to you, like, I don't want to be your mom, like, I don't want to be that nag. Don't make me be a nag. And I think it is delicate. Like, relationship is so delicate because
Not that my mom's a nag.
No.
You just meant that in general.
I meant that in general.
She listens.
No, I mean, like, anyone, like, you just don't want to be that. You're like, I don't want to be that nagging voice, I wasn't to anyone specific. It was just moms in general. I'm a mom. And so, I don't know. I find it's just really delicate. It can be because it's like your emotional maturity. So I listened to this guy talk about, like, I don't know all the details, you probably do, but he was talking about like people that give the silent treatment.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, sign me up. Like, I know the silent treatment. I've delivered that many times to you in our marriage. And it's just because I'm 8. Like, I'm 8-year-old me, like, emotionally not mature. Mm. And that it takes maturity to actually talk about stuff. Like, to actually absorb things and not, like you said, like, I'm also, like, hold on to things. Like, we're different, but similarities, right? And learning to not shut down.
Yeah.
Which is essentially what you're talking about. Just, like, being open and not shutting down. That is, like, how do you create positive change? I think a lot of that comes with emotional maturity on both ends. And you can't fast track somebody else's emotional maturity. I know it from my own experience, Like, that is something that's come with time and still comes. I'm still learning how to do it better. How to, like, not pull away. How to not shut down. When it feels like I'm not connecting with you or being misheard or simple things.
C.S. Lewis writes this: if you're constantly sacrificing for the other, you will grow resentful. But if you are sacrificing for the project, you will be fed by that and you'll get closer. Mm. So there's a predictor. They did this study on married people, but it's a predictor for almost all relationships. Accurate to within over 93%, 93.6 something, of when people are going to get divorced, who will make it and who won't. Wow. And it hinges on one thing: resentfulness and contempt. Resentfulness and contempt. And so that's what C.S. Lewis is talking about there when he's talking about if you are constantly sacrificing for the other and not for the project that you've decided to work on together, you will grow contempt. And a contempt is a weird emotion because it doesn't go away like other emotions. If you're afraid, you're triggered, fear leaves. Right. If you're angry, you build up. I need a moment to process this and we'll come back and chat. Go away, process, come back. The anger's gone. Happiness, high, low, it comes, goes. But not resentfulness and not contempt. Once that sets in, it's in. You have to unpack that stuff over a long period of time to get rid of it. That's one of the only things that sticks around. It lasts beyond the trigger. So does joy. There might be an antidote to that there. But to 93% accuracy, those with contempt, it was a visual study. They had people sit and communicate without talking. And the person just did the visual cues. And just like an eye roll or a half smile, I think it was, showed the contempt. And they were accurate to 93%.
Wow.
But who wasn't going to make it.
Wow.
So as soon as you're in that space of contempt, disgust, it's on its way out. And that often comes from sacrificing for someone.
What do you think that means exactly? Because like I'm hearing you, and it's like when you sacrifice, like I can think of many times people sacrificed for each other. You know, and like, do you think that means like when one is sacrificing and the other is like working to, like that you're not working toward the project of us?
Correct. When I'm sacrificing who I am, when I'm giving to this thing and you're not,
Yeah.
it's imbalanced.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Or when I'm having to change who I am, when I'm having to sacrifice who I am over and over and over again, I'm going to grow contemptuous of you.
Right.
But if we've agreed on the project of what this is, whether we're partners in whatever it is, in this case, a relationship, we've agreed on this project of this relationship, this marriage.
Yeah.
And the sacrifice is for the benefit of that requires things from me and things from you, then you grow together towards that thing.
Like that triangle.
It's like the triangle.
Yeah.
Have the thing you're both sacrificing towards. So I think often the frustration that the question is talking about is just the imbalance of sacrifice.
Right.
In order to create the connection.
Right.
When one's growing and one's not, that tension can only go so far before you're either going to be pulled back and that person's holding you back. And so when they are, then you become contemptuous. When they disgust you. Because they're holding you back or pulling you back.
Right.
Because you're tethered.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tethered to this bird of sorrow. You either have to cut it or drag the other person forward. Now, all tension is there to move something.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so the way to move anything is through tension. The way to do that is through tension.
Right.
Right? And so having a tension that goes back and forth, like an elastic band that would move one and then the other, that's healthy. That's good. Not everybody's going to be 100% all the time. You're going to go through seasons, and somebody else is going to have to sacrifice a lot to pull you through that season or to hold the space for that season. We've talked about that.
Yeah.
And that's great. And there's the ability to do that when you haven't been doing that for years.
Yeah. Yeah.
But sometimes the tension just becomes too great.
Yeah.
And you either have to cut it or decide to stop growing and shrink.
Yeah. So to answer the second part of the question, what approach have we taken and how has that shifted over the years? I think for me, I've taken risks in being honest to the point of, I don't know what the words are. I'm getting a little bit teary-eyed here. I think I've taken the risks of just being fully transparent and not counting the cost.
What do you mean?
I think, like, so I had this conversation with somebody the other day about relationships. And she was talking about how things with a friend of hers was going through something. And she's like, I told the guy, like, that's it. Like, I have reached my max, and that's it. Like, you're not connecting. You're not hearing me. And if things don't change, like, I'm sorry, like, we've done this whole thing way too long. And I've like reached my max. And then she's like, but the problem was that he did it. Like, the things were working out for 2 months and then they just like went back to where they were. And I was like, yeah, it's because we're not, like, we're bluffing. It's like, we're just bluffing. No reason, no wonder if you keep telling the same person, it's like, hey, a child. If you do that again, you're going to be disciplined. Or we're going to take a toy away, whatever. Child does it again. If you do that, I'm going to take your toy away.
Right.
The kid knows you're not going to take the toy away. It's just your thing until you get distracted long enough that you forget that the kid took the toy away. That is not a problem anymore. Right?
Right.
And I think the same thing happens in relationships. Sometimes we dance around in this is the last time. You know what I mean? And I know that, like, there are seasons where we can, we can embellish all of the things. But I think there are some things we come up against over and over again that require honesty and require us to follow through. They do. And I think that what risks have I taken? I mean, like, how does this say? What approach have we taken? How has that shifted over the years? I think I've just taken risks and been like very transparent and gotten to the point where I wasn't willing to like watch us just shrink together.
Right.
Like I wasn't going to shrink anymore with you or with like, I'm not saying it's you, but I mean, in our life, you know, this is like, no, like.
Based on track records, predominantly me.
And I wanted more for me. And sometimes I wanted more for you than I wanted for myself. And I realized that's a really horrible imbalancement.
Right.
Because if you want for somebody more than they want for themselves, it creates mass tension and heaps of frustration.
Right.
Which you can sleep in the same bed but feel so separate.
Right.
And so I think for me, it's just how has it shifted? I've just become more honest.
Right.
With myself and with you. And that's been really scary sometimes because I let go of the idea that you have to do this, that you can be your own person.
Right.
Right. And that's the thing. If change is done for your person, for your partner, and not for yourself,
yeah,
that's the problem.
Yeah.
It's never going to stick if you're doing it for somebody else. You've got to choose it for you. And I think that's what's shifted in us. That's what shifted over the years, is that the changes in our lives that have happened in our marriage is because we chose.
For ourselves.
For ourselves. I didn't
Which
stop.
is choosing.
Yes.
The common goal.
The common goal.
Yeah.
The project. Us.
Yes.
You know? Like, yeah. I think that's what shifted for me. I don't know about you.
Yeah, it's tough because you can point to a lot of things that were most couples are going to have the same three arguments.
Yeah.
Or face the same three things over and over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And you can usually trace it back to if there's a conflict, if there's something going on. So usually one of the three.
Yeah.
And changes between relationships, and so like how honest can you be with yourself about what you do that causes one of those three, that contributes to those three, and then how do you respond to that? And so often the problem is the failed solution. So people will point to certain things, whatever avoidance or addiction or the thing as the problem in the relationship, and that's just the fruit of it. That's just the end result of a failed attempt of solving the problem. Because the problem is usually an internal one. And so you go to something, you try something to alleviate that tension and that problem within yourself. And that creates its own problem. And so usually that's not the thing. It's not about this, it's about that. It's not that, it's this.
Right.
It's what's behind the thing that's creating that tension. And so for me, it was just like failed growth. It's just the refusal to grow past certain points. And that required, you were mentioning maturity, it just required more maturity and honesty from myself and from my end. And to leave the failed solutions behind and just do the work. Going back to the first question, because the work now frees me up later.
Yeah.
Pain now. You're going to have pain.
Yeah. Yeah.
All growth is pain. If you're growing, you're changing, you're evolving, it's going to change the circumstance. It's going to change your friends. It's going to change all sorts of things around you.
Yeah.
And it's going to require a sacrifice in the moment, which is going to be pain of choosing to do that now. Just take the gym.
Yeah.
I'm choosing that pain now over the pain in the rocking chair later when I can't move.
Yeah. Choose your hard.
Choose your hard. Choose your pain.
Yeah.
Regret hurts forever. It's a greater level of pain than facing the pain of honesty with yourself right now.
Right.
And choosing the thing that you know you want to choose to have a different outcome.
Mm-hmm.
So choose your pain. For me, it was about choosing the right pain.
Yeah.
It was avoiding pain now. It was creating pain later. And so that would show up in a myriad of ways. But
so do you think that it's less about like having the right question, like having the right time, and it's more about the growth in each other individually? It's less about like how do you have the hard conversations, like encouraging change, saying, hey, we can do better in these things. Like, do you think that's more about the maturity in the relationship individually than picking the time of those conversations?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, picking the time, you can have an established thing that you've put into place where you ask specific questions or you can bring things to the table. So you create the safe space to have those conversations.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's not about a reaction, it's about actually hearing and listening and communicating back and forth what you heard the other person say. There's all the techniques and stuff out there that we're not qualified to talk about.
Yeah.
But once you have that open communication, I think it's about maintaining that, number one, but just the moment you have to shrink as a person for somebody else, that's when you have to bring it up. The moment you're feeling disgust or contempt for that person, where you get the half smirk and the eye roll or the thing that you just want to pull away, that's when you have to deal with it. Because that's not going away.
Yeah.
That's not just angry in a moment. That's years of buildup.
Yeah.
That's the killer.
Yeah. All right. So this next question, I feel like it's kind of on the heels of the other one, and maybe we already answered it, but I'm going to roll it out. How do you approach things that come up over and over and over again? And when does it become so exhausting that it's no longer worth it?
Maximum level of pain.
Yeah.
That you're willing to endure.
Yeah. Yes.
No longer worth it when you have to change who you are to accommodate somebody else's avoidance or negative choice. Some circumstances are not fair.
Yeah.
And nobody's fault. But when it's a refusal to grow and a refusal to mature, then there is a breaking point. And it's when you start to shrink as a person.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like there's all sorts of people who, we've been together for 42 years or 60 years, and everybody claps at like an event, like who's been married, like great. Did that hollow you out as a person? Because that's not worth celebrating, just being together. It's like, who are you now after that time? Because did that relationship actually make you better?
Right.
Or did you shrink as a person just to accommodate being together?
Right. Yeah. How's the condition of your heart?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's hard. There's lots of reasons people stay together.
Yeah.
And very few of them are really good for one another.
Yeah.
And it's amazing when you meet those people.
Yeah.
But like, it's complicated.
Mm-hmm.
It's really complicated. It's really hard financially now to do it as one person.
Yeah.
So often there's like financial handcuffs to staying together. There's kids.
Yeah.
There's contracts. There's pain.
Yeah.
And the pain of slowly shrinking and despising someone can feel like less than the pain of tearing it all apart.
Mm-hmm. It can feel more attainable.
Yeah.
40 years of unhappiness can feel more attainable than starting over as a 30-year-old or 45-year-old. Right.
Well, whether it's falling off a cliff or 25,000 paper cuts, it's still death.
Yeah.
So again, choose your pain.
Yeah. Okay, this is a fun one, which I'm sure you're gonna have a great answer for. Have you ever fallen out of love? If so, why? And in what ways did you find yourselves back to each other? Yes, we have fallen out of love.
Love isn't enough.
No.
It's not enough.
No.
It's in that little poem I read to you in that other episode we did.
Yeah.
Oh, there's two loves.
Yeah.
There's the butterflies and the way that person makes you feel and the way they stare into your eyes.
Yeah.
And that quickly fades. And then there's the other love that is a choice. Yeah, in and out of love.
All the time.
Love is not enough.
No.
It's not enough.
No.
If you're relying on love, not gonna make it.
No.
There's a lot of grit involved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of, I think when you fall out of love, for me, it's when I stop seeing you. And solely had myself in the limelight, you know? Like, it's funny because I had a picture of I could see a picture of myself just like I'm wearing this tank top and both like the tank top is drenched in breast milk. I got one baby over here and a kid on the floor, and I'm just like seeing everything that's going on in my world and not seeing you or seeing us.
Right.
Because I'm like, I'm in my moment. And it doesn't mean it's not hard, but I completely took all of my attention. I remember us having kids, and I don't know if you felt this, but I definitely remember feeling it, that like we were us and then it was like them. And then we were just like a side, like hustle.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
That we were just a side thing that like they were kind of took up so much energy, and it's a huge transition to go from being the two of you to then being the three of you, and this person that needs you, and it doesn't ask you if you're tired or haven't slept or if you've had any sort of intimacy
Babies are
with your
assholes.
person. Yes, like they require so much of you, these little beautiful beings.
So inconsiderate.
They need so much from you. And so naturally you have less for each other. And so there's this, like, it's so funny. I remember someone say, oh, once you have a baby, like you're just so much more in love. I'm like, I don't know what if that's true for all, because I feel like having a baby required so much from us. And like here, you know, all the experiences as a mom and the breastfeeding, all the things that happen, it can create a natural kind of separation, because now you have two very different rhythms. Like when you're getting up at 2 and 3 and, you know, through the feedings, and then you're got a crying kid and like you're going to work. It's like our lives, we don't both go to work and talk like, how was your day? It's like, I've got throw up all over me and breast milk everywhere. And it's just like, you know, two different worlds.
Right.
And so I think it can naturally create this like separation and these just jointedness, which can create us to feel maybe less in love, because we now have this other being that's in the middle.
Because you're in survival mode.
Totally.
It's not bliss anymore.
No.
But what I think one of the keys for that is not deprioritizing the other as first.
Yeah. Which is easy to do.
It's like now, like I come back the other day and all the kids are there and you're there, and it's like, you're first.
Yeah.
Kids are second.
Mm-hmm.
And I think like that rule, if you can hold that, it's like, yeah, you'll make it past the empty house syndrome, the empty nest syndrome.
Yeah.
Like when work isn't first, when kids aren't first, when those things, now you got to keep them alive.
Yeah, and they
so go ahead and give them a priority. Yeah, there's a whole period there where that has to adjust, but it's like, can you get back to being the first?
Yeah,
putting them as the first option, not the second. So there's little things like the in and out of love situation, I think you can look at in all the little things. Love is such a big word.
Yeah.
But it shows up in, oh, there's more tea in the cupboard. My favorite tea's there. I thought I just ran out. And it's like, oh, somebody went and got it.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like, oh, my favorite drinks are there. Or whatever it is, it's all these little tiny things.
Yeah.
That the care and affection shows up and no one's doing it for like, I don't know if you saw the tea.
That's in the cupboard.
Let's see what's in there.
Yeah.
It's running low.
Topped it up for you. Yeah.
Photo.
Totally. Look what I did.
Love my wife. Favorite tea. Hashtag. Like
Posty post. Yeah.
right. like a virtue signaling to the world
Yeah.
our love. Like,
Yeah.
no, it's like it's just there because when somebody else's happiness
Yeah.
makes you happy,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's the love.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when you're out of love, those little things, they start to like disappear a bit.
Yeah.
And then the other person's happiness becomes less of a concern for you.
Yeah.
And it's just like, well, I'm not happy. Why the hell should you be?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
like it's exaggerated, but it's like that ends up being the thing. And that goes back to like the disdain aspect.
Yeah.
It's like, I think the best solution is just to keep doing all those little micro things.
Yeah.
It's all found in the little stuff.
Yeah. It's interesting when you're talking about that. I think about when we're dating, you know, how it's so easy to be kind. Mm-hmm. Your boyfriend or girlfriend's cup is empty. You're like, oh, just gonna get it filled up for them, right? You know what I mean? The person doesn't have to even ask.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just that those little like.
Nor is anybody looking for credit.
No, it's just these little bits of kindness because you care and because you saw the person. And I think that's what it goes back to is like you're saying, like doing those little things. It comes to seeing each other.
You're also young and not exhausted.
Yeah, that is true. Different rules apply, but yeah, it just those little bits of kindness, bits of love sprinkled into your day. Mm-hmm. You've been really good in our life of like leaving little notes. I have like a little journal that I've kept like a bunch of your notes, and oftentimes revert back to them. Just like random little pieces that you just left behind, you know, and it just reminds me, oh, like
joy bombs.
Yeah, like you see me. Yeah, joy bombs. Yeah. What do you know now that you wish 25-year-old you knew about raising kids?
What do I know now that 25-year-old me, I wish 25-year-old me knew about raising kids? There's so many things.
I know. That's exactly what I thought. I'm like, there's so many things.
Okay, rapid fire back and forward. All the little firsts go away. They all go away.
Yeah.
The running to the door to hug you, regardless of how your day was, disappears. The nighttime tuck-ins, although sometimes it is still a tuck, 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 tuck. But like the read to me, till I fall asleep, goes away.
Yeah.
All those things, the years, they go away. And you're tired and you're exhausted and you have carrying all sorts of stuff during that period. But if you can actually see those moments, you'll hold on to them. So pull your head out of your ass, 25-year-old me, and be in those moments. Your problems of today, they won't exist tomorrow. But those memories, those things, enjoying them.
Yeah. I remember someone reading me this piece about, don't worry about the laundry, don't worry about the dirty floor, don't worry about like all these things. And because one day they won't be there anymore. And being like 22 me, being like, or probably 24 me, because I had 2 kids, and being like, I don't know if I can believe that, you know, just being so overwhelmed by the little things that needed to get done just to keep the house functioning. And yet when you look back, when I think back about those times, and when I look back on videos and pictures, I don't remember the house dirty and all the things that had to go on. I remember the tiny little voices that said, I love my daddy, or whatever, that little video we have of Ellie. And like just these moments, like what I would give to like bottle up the giggles and put them in there. And I don't know, it's so special that it just goes, and the first like do slowly go away, you know, for those years anyways. But I think for myself, I would tell myself that it's okay to not have the right answers. It's okay to stumble. It's your first time here. It's also your 2-year-old's first time here. And so they're going to do things that are going to get you good. They're going to really be defiant sometimes, you know? And it's going to feel like you're absolutely failing as a mother. And to realize, like, no, you're just figuring it out. And it actually never stops. I'm still trying to figure it out. Now being parents to adults, you know?
But there's a tricky pivot
Yeah.
of where your job parenting a little one is done.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't have to listen to you anymore.
Mm-hmm. They're
if
adults.
they ever did.
Yeah.
They don't have to listen to you anymore. You're now another voice. You're still the only mom.
Yeah.
But the pivot is to like this friend.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that can be a tricky one.
Yeah.
But understanding that pivot, understanding that the formation years are gone.
Yeah.
You've already done all the work of forming. Now you can just give opinions.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, the other thing is, we talk about it, but knowing it then is they will not do what you say, they will do what you do.
Yeah, totally.
They will mimic everything.
Yeah.
And not listen to any of it.
They will do what you do. Yeah. Now, there are so many things when I think about parenting. Younger me could have valued from knowing what I know now.
Mm-hmm.
I think another thing that comes up is like being mature enough to apologize and
To them.
to them.
Yeah.
To like, I got that wrong. Like, and it doesn't matter if they're 2 or 4 or 16, but admitting that like, I could have done that better. And like, I'm really sorry. It's a beautiful thing that I learned throughout my years of parenting that creates this allowance for that to be something that goes back and forth. But if you don't do it first, like
modeling vulnerability.
Again, do it. They do what you do. If you don't do it first, they won't do it. And I didn't know that with me when I was in my early 20s raising littles. But that's something I would say, like, be vulnerable enough to apologize in whatever age it is that you got it wrong.
That's every relationship.
Yeah, it is. But I think it's something I didn't understand and know.
Yeah.
And being real. Like real about things. That's something I think we learned later on in our years with the kids, but it just like, even talking about sex and talking about these things and making that, I was really afraid to have those conversations and didn't really know how to do those kind of things. I didn't ever have those conversations with my parents. So, you know, it was something I had to learn, but having those, making it more of a normal conversation, less of this, like, how do we talk about this, but more of a just, it's part of talking about the body, talking about these things. It can be so taboo, especially coming from a Christian background where it's like, I don't know, we just name them weird things. Like, I don't know. I just remember like not even calling the body parts what they were and just like having these weird names for them because it was somehow protecting them. And that was somewhere in my brain that I concocted that. But just like being more transparent about those things and just making it more of an like everyday conversations about these things and so that it doesn't become, because eventually they're going to want to know these things. They're going to find their resources. They're going to find the people that they trust. And I don't think it's wrong to, I think it's great. I think it'd be great to have those conversations more and learn. So yeah, I think
What else?
about parenting, that's what we learn. That's what we're learning. That's what we're constantly learning about parenting. And I think it's good to reflect about. It's a good question, actually. Because it's good to reflect in this moment.
Whoever asked it doesn't appreciate the actually, but.
Okay. How do you keep the romance, keep the fun, keep it exciting, instead of things becoming same old, same old? You seem to have an answer.
It involves outfits and no. The thing that has shifted it for us, can you tell me?
Are you referring to the podcast we listened to?
Kissing.
Where they talked about making out.
Making out.
Yeah.
Every day.
Yeah.
Every day.
I know.
Not in the bed, not being sexual, but just finding little pockets to make out.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's incredible what that does. Mm-hmm. So the rule, every day you have to have a makeout session. There's at least 10 tongue touches.
Oh, yeah. I thought it was
like naturally. You can't just you have to have just take a moment. It takes 2 minutes of kissing. Mm-hmm. And the amount of intimacy and connection is through the roof. So keeping it interesting is about the baseline. Mm-hmm. Increase that baseline of the lowest amount of stuff romantically, and you'll increase everything.
Yeah.
So keep that baseline high, which is making out every day.
Yeah. I think that the reason why it's been such a big change for us is because it really wasn't common for us to, it wasn't common for us to make out. I remember hearing that podcast and be like, wow, really, every day, hey? And they were talking about how it just really has created this really want for each other, this sexual tension. Because I think a lot of times in relationships, one other person is maybe wanting to have sex more than the other person, and so it feels like, I don't know, it feels like it's something you're it's part of what's gonna happen. Some people even schedule it. I know we've never been schedulers, but they schedule it and be like, this is happening this day because we want to get it. We want to have that intimacy, but life can just be too busy. We don't actually do that. But what this does is that making out, just kissing, having that connection with both parties knowing that this is just for 3 to 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. It's the middle of the day. You can tuck it into any time of your day, right? In the car, wherever. It's not requiring us to we're not having sex. And it's just that it's like when you're dating, and you're feeling around, but you maybe have restrictions on where you're going, and it's like knowing you can't go that extra mile creates this this intensity.
Right.
Yeah.
And lets the kiss be the kiss.
Yeah.
It's not the appetizer to something else.
Yeah.
Where it's just no, this is actual just connection.
Yeah.
This is just straight connection of us being close physically.
Yeah.
And it's like my heart leaps out of my mouth.
Yeah.
Every time. It's become the thing.
It's magic. It really is. It's a really, I remember saying to you, this is free. This kind of electricity we have is free to us. And we get to explore this and have fun with it and be young in this connection. Mm-hmm. And that has been a really incredible, and we miss it. If we miss some time, we're dang, haven't had our makeout session, and just that connection that it creates in that want for each other. I think that's a really...
It's presence. Mm-hmm. Straight presence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're all in that. I'd say that's probably the biggest ways that recently we have kept things fun and exciting.
Yeah.
And that electric connection. Yeah. Well, I think we covered almost all the questions. And maybe
covered the ones we're going to cover.
Yeah. Maybe we'll have another one of these in the future.
Sure.
But thanks for chatting.
Thank you.
Thanks for talking about these things, and yeah, it's amazing to see what we've learned over the years. Especially when you sit down and talk about it, you're like, oh, there's some good juice there. Yeah. So, all right. Well, that's a wrap from us. Thank you so much for joining us, and for those of you who sent in questions, we really, really appreciate it. And send in some more, and maybe we'll do this again.
The makeout tutorials in the Patreon.
Yeah, you'll have to go there to get that. Yeah, if you have some questions, maybe we'll approach that in the future. Send them to nakedwithjanelle@gmail.com, or you can send me a message on Instagram at nakedwithjanelle. Until next time, have an amazing day, and thanks for tuning in and hanging out with us.
I want to thank you so much for being here, for taking the time to listen to the Naked Podcast. It honestly means so much. If there's something in the episode that has moved you, share it with someone who might need to hear it too. And if you haven't already, give us a follow and leave a review. It helps so much to keep the momentum and keep the show growing. For more conversations, reflections, and ways to stay connected,
Check out the link in the show notes. Until next time. If you would like to connect with us or possibly share your story, please contact us at nakedwithjanelle@gmail.com. That's nakedwithjanelle@gmail.com. Thanks so much.
I want to give a huge thanks to my son, Mikhail Nordine, who produces and edits every single episode. He is the reason this podcast doesn't live inside my computer, but actually makes its way to you. He does a lot of the behind the scenes work, but he's also front and center in creating every single episode with me. I couldn't do this without him, so a huge thank you to him.